My NGO does three main things. We do health service strengthening. We work with ministries, we work with local hospitals and provincial ministries of health to improve their management and their systems and also their service delivery. We also do disease management and control. We have HIV/AIDS, malaria, and neglected tropical disease programs. Probably our second largest program was in Haiti. It's a neglected tropical disease program on lymphatic filariasis. And we were there for, we were in Haiti for a 3-day meeting to talk about best practices, to talk about where we've been successful, and to share information. We had decided to have dinner at the hotel that night, and then, and so we were waiting, as we were waiting for these colleagues, they came up, we greeted them around 4:50, and we just started walking through the lobby. And as we started walking through the lobby, everything started to shake. And it was so immediate and instant, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds. All I remember is looking up and seeing some things shake and then falling to the ground. And the next thing I remember was my throat was full of dust. I touched my head and there was a cut. My face was also cut, small cuts all over me. Immediately, it was completely pitch dark too. There was no light. Five of us were in one compartment that was about 5 foot long and about 8 foot deep and about 3 foot high. So just enough space to sit down with maybe an inch above your head. We looked around and we called out for our 6th colleague, and she was in a different space and we couldn't see her, we couldn't get to her. She was okay, also not very injured. But two of the men with us, they had big pieces of rubble, cement, like concrete blocks had fallen on their legs and crushed them. So they couldn't move and they were in a tremendous amount of pain. Somebody pulled out a cell phone so we could have some light. And we try to talk to each other, keep each other calm, to say what happened, what can we do to make our friends who are injured comfortable. And then we really said, we're never going to get out of here. We can't get out ourselves. We're going to have to be, the only way we're going to get out if somebody comes in and gets us. So that was the first full day we were there. We stayed a whole nother night. And again, I think that night, our two friends who were injured, you could see them getting worse. They really needed medical attention. I think we had no food, no water. We were getting thirsty, we were getting hungry. We just never heard anything near us. But in fact, there was things going on. The rescue teams were already preparing to come into the Montana. What we didn't know was those two men actually did communicate to somebody. There were people alive in Montana and that Montana was a priority space. Maybe around 7 o'clock. My colleague, who was not in that group of 5, but the outer group compartment, she said, I hear a noise. I hear something. I really hear a noise. And we started yelling and screaming again, and then the voices came back to us, and it was the French firemen. And they said, we're here to rescue you. So 50 hours, they come, but it took them 5 more hours to get us out. 4 of us, the 4 in our group and those 2 other men were ultimately all of them pulled out. But at that moment, it was just the 4 people in my group who were uninjured. The French paramedic doctors actually went in again and started treating them. And they were alive when we went out, but we heard later both their stories. One of the men, they had to cut off actually his feet and amputate them. And then they actually put him in a helicopter and got him to Florida to a hospital. But he was in a coma and he never came out and he died. The other man was actually a very large man. He was about 320 pounds. And they were going to have to make that space even bigger to get him out. But in the process of treating him and trying to figure out a way to get him out, he actually had a heart attack, cardiac arrest. And he actually never made it out of there. The first thing they did was the French doctors looked at us and then they took us to another area, kind of a holding area. And there was lots of people from like USAID, emergency responders. So somebody from Fairfax County here in Virginia also took a look at me. And then the person from the USAID DART team asked me if I wanted to make a phone call. So they handed me, a satellite phone. So I called my wife and told her I was okay. My family, my colleagues at IMA World Health, everyone was calling everyone they knew. And my wife works here at PAHO, and so she was talking to, the people here, your emergency team. I know the director of PAHO, Mr. Rosas. Everyone knew that one of the spouses of a PAHO employee was lost, and did really what they could to try to find me and to help me. And really, so many people did that. It was really amazing to me. Members of Congress called the State Department. People were on Facebook with there's a thing called Hotel Montana people on Facebook, and they put names of people who they thought were lost. So there was just so much information and communication about, we need to find these people. And I have to say, when I heard that, I was very touched by really what people did for me who don't even know me. I mean, the other thing that's actually very important to me is the situation in Haiti. It's going to take decades. I mean, Haiti was one of the poorest countries in the world, the poorest country in the whole Western Hemisphere. It had a lot of challenges and problems even before the earthquake. And if we're going to work with people there, work with the Ministry of Health there, work with Haitians to rebuild their country, we have to be prepared to do it for 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And I think that's one of the commitments that when I got out, what I've said to my colleagues and my staff and my friends is, I'm going to be there. My organization is going to be there for the next 10 years at least. A lot of organizations come in right after emergency and they leave. We're not going to leave.